that's when it's 1 a.m. here, it's 6 p.m. in New Zealand. And I when I met Shiv in January, I started hanging out with him and watching movies. He likes to watch movies. And so I would eat, like, I would basically, like, forget to eat and stuff. So I would eat when he ate. And so it just
Okay.
became habit for me. I eat on their time, when it's lunch or dinner for them. And I sleep in the early morning. Like, I'll fall asleep at like 5 a.m. here. But there, it's like 10 p.m.
Ah, okay. Makes
So,
sense.
like Krepa and Shiv both, like, they would be awake, like, they'll be awake at midnight, and it's 7 a.m. here. And then, when I said, like, Krepa would talk to me, like, we would get in VC and talk all night, that's the reason. Because my all night and, staying up until 10 a.m. was, to him, is like midnight and 2 a.m.
Oh,
So, like,
no,
on his schedule, he's going to bed at, a decent time for the people in New Zealand. But for me, everybody's like freaking out because I stay up all night, but I'll go to sleep. I'll fall asleep at like 7, 8 a.m., and then I'll sleep till noon or 1 p.m.
yeah, I used to do, like lately. I go to bed. I usually go to bed around midnight. I'm up at like 7:30, 8. But that's because the kiddos are still little. Yours are
Right.
pretty much like grown up now, so it's not like you have to
Yes.
worry about hurrying up and getting breakfast and all that crap. And oh, you disappeared somehow. I like you disappeared out of the party.
Oh, okay.
FYI.
Yeah, it's not letting me hold the thing and do the challenge either. Okay.
Huh, that's weird. I don't know why
My
Twitch is like that.
my internet blinked too. It restarted.
Oh,
I've got 2 minutes on the counter now.
oh, jeez.
What happened? There it goes. Is it reset yet? Because it shows us both on there. There we go. Hey, does it show me in your game, or do you think I need to?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was muted. Oh my God. No, I don't. I don't see you.
Okay.
I For some reason I'm not in there. I'm out in the abyss by myself again. I'm eating crackers. I muted myself, and I'm talking away, and I'm like, oh, whoops.
It happens.
All right, there you are.
Okay, yeah, I had to leave out and jump back in again. I didn't have to restart my game this time. Woohoo!
That's good. Thank God. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just having a munch fest, by the way. I'm just kind of like munching on some crackers.
Yeah.
Love late night snacking. It's my favorite. Yeah, I used to be up all the time. Like I used to be up all night,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd sleep until like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. But it's because I like the nighttime and I hate the daytime, and I get really depressed and I just want to sleep through the day.
Right.
But that's when I had help with the kids. Now I don't have a choice. It's like I have to be on that schedule.
Right.
Especially because they're little. Especially with Brayden because he's like, Savannah. She's 11. She still needs my help, but she can pretty much do a lot of shit on her own.
Yeah.
Katie's same. You know what I mean? But with Brayden, like he needs me all the. He's been doing pretty good though. Knock on wood.
Very true.
He's there on vacation. He's been getting up and just chilling in his room. He don't even come out of his room until like 9, 10 o'clock. Like he can come out whenever, but he just chooses not to come out until 9 or 10. I'm like, okay, cool.
Right. See, your daughter, um, what is her name? She's 11.
Savannah.
Savannah. Okay, because I remember
Hmm.
Katie, but I never remember the other one. I got to
Yeah,
remember
she's the one.
Georgia, Savannah, Georgia. Um, Savannah is the age that my daughter was when I pulled her out of school and started
Goodness.
homeschooling her. And so, people think homeschool, it's a lot. My daughter already knew the basics of everything she needed to know. I just needed to teach her a little bit more and expose her to a little bit more. But she was 11. She was in the fifth grade going into the sixth grade. I started homeschooling her for sixth grade. And she would wake up, and she wasn't an early person, so she would wake up like 9 o'clock in the morning. We would watch Rachel Ray because she cooked, and then my daughter would take note of what she was doing, and if she liked it, we would go and we would get the recipe off of the internet, off of her website, and we would cook that for dinner, and that was part of like math and home ec. And then she would do, her, like, I had computer curriculum that was on the I had curriculum that was on the computer, so it was just a disk that you put in the computer, and it basically, she could do it herself, but she needed me as the teacher to check her stuff, or if she needed help, I could go into the teacher thing and I could look it up and then tell her, oh well, look on page 8 and read really carefully. It's there. But I wouldn't tell her where it was. I would make her do it. And then we would stop and we would watch As the World Turns. We would fix lunch and sit down and watch As the World Turns. And so, like,
There you go. I'm
homeschooling
glad that
her, like,
you.
we watched TV and she took her time. She loved Shakespeare and she loved Joan of Arc, and she loved art, and so letting her express herself with her art and her drawings and everything, that's the reason she's artistic like she is. Because when she was in middle school, they were like trying to control those kids of what they did with art, and like basically like you're taught a certain thing and then you move on a week later. You never really learn. And I got her.
Yeah, I noticed that too in public school. Because
Yeah.
I remember when I went. Savannah does right now just because, well, because I've got my hands full right now and I can't do homeschooling for her yet. But
But homeschool is, if I know, like with you, like your kids are in public school and they're doing their work at home, so it's kind of like regulated, and you have to do a certain thing, you have to follow the rules and have expectations and stuff. But with homeschool, like when you're doing it yourself, Texas has no rules. When I pulled her out of school and sent an actual like certified letter to the school board, I was on my own. Nobody told me what to do. And so I could
that's true
teach
though.
her what I wanted. I had people in homeschool group that didn't even have curriculum. They did everything by the school of life. Like cooking. Cooking, you have to do measurements, and that's math. You have to put the ingredients together, which is learning how to organize and, like go through steps of doing things. You cook, and then you have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you have a goal of your food, tasting good. And if you don't do it satisfactory, you turn around and you can do it again. And so
I would
just
have had the patience.
yeah,
Like right now, I just don't have the patience to do
right.
it. It sucks, but I think that's because a lot of it's in my head. I have some like
It it
I'm
does take a
bipolar, so
lot
like
though.
I kind of go through my modes where I'm like really, really good, and then
Mhm.
I'll go through my like down phase where it's like everything sucks and I'm sad.
Yeah.
I hate it. So it's a little tough sometimes.
Yeah.
But like Katie homeschools, she does it through the online system though.
Mhm.
The online school itself, so it's actually set up perfectly. So
Mhm.
the teachers are on there, all that stuff, and she can take her time. She's async, so and what I thought was neat was You know, in public schooling, they don't teach, and I'm not a religious person, but you know, I believe in God, and I do believe in Jesus Christ. I thought it was weird. I thought not weird in a bad way, but awesome. That in Katie's school, they were teaching about not the Bible part. They weren't like teaching about the Bible, but they were talking about Christ and what happened, like actual accounts of. Because I always wondered, why isn't it in the history books at school? Like it
Right.
happened. Why
Right.
isn't it in the history books? But in hers, it was, and they talked about even Marie Antoinette and all that stuff. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this is so freaking cool. I thought that was pretty neat
But you get
that they do that.
so much out of things, especially history. I mean, I'm very passionate about history, but you get so much out of things when you're able to take your time and actually study it and learn more. And if you have questions, then you can like look up more and ask questions and learn more, because not everything is in a little book. Like there is so much. And if I was passionate about Egypt and Italy when I was her age, and I was in, public school, and we only had, like a couple of weeks that, we learned everything about Egypt that they wanted to teach us. And then I went on for years, just like being mesmerized by Egypt and wanting to know more. And you know, I was so into it. I knew hieroglyphics. I could read and write in hieroglyphics.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, I mean, you spend time with me. I'm not like, um how do you say it? Like, just like smart, like doing things. I'm book smart. So if I read it and write it, I I'm a genius. But when it comes to just everyday things, street smarts, and socializing, like being able to read people and having a radar and being able to sense things about people. I suck at all of that. But you put me with a book and tell me to write an essay, and I'm there. So when I was in school, it was a social part of school that I hated with a passion. But actually going to school and actually being able to talk to my teachers and ask questions and go to the library and stuff like that, I was in love with all of that. So when
Just
I
love the
started
library. I
homeschooling my
still love the
daughter,
library.
it was the teacher side of being able to, what I didn't know, I learned along with her. And
Yeah.
I fell in love with that. I had a lot of people tell me I should be a teacher, and I'm like, hell no, because I'm not having someone tell me what I can and
I
cannot do
can't.
and reporting to them. I can homeschool. I thought about that. I have a friend that had a teaching degree, and she lost her job, and I thought about it, but I was it was cut down. Like, oh, you're stupid. That'll never work. I thought about, like, I had homeschooled my daughter and was homeschooling my nephew, and I thought, there are people that will pay somebody to homeschool their children. And my friend had a teaching degree, and I was good with children, and I was smart. And she could drive, so we could take the kids to the zoo. We could take them to the science museum. We could take them bowling. We could do things like little field trips to get them
Hmm.
out. But yet, like, I was already buying the curriculum and knew enough, being in homeschool group, that I was like, we could, buy everything that we need. And with a disc, doing on the computer, we just needed computers. We didn't need books, because we just put a disc in a computer and, load it in. So once you
Cool.
buy third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade curriculum, every child in that grade level, you already have the curriculum for. You don't have to go and buy books and stuff and redo it for every kid. So you're actually, if somebody will pay you to school their child because they didn't want to send them to public school, You know, it's like private school here. It's designated
Right.
as private school in the state of Texas.
That's cool.
And I thought about that, and I thought, you know, if nobody's telling me, you know, what we have to learn and how to deal with the kids and how to discipline them and rules and when we have to wake up and when we're done, I'm fine. And
Right.
I would have loved it. I fell in love with the teacher part of homeschool.
See, you're
And
probably like a natural teacher. See, I get so frustrated when trying to explain shit to people. I'll be like, no, not there. No, there. No, do that. God damn it. Don't you know? And I feel so bad because I'm terrible with like patience. And
yeah.
you seem to have a lot of patience to be, just to be able to explain stuff to people. It's hard for me to explain to get what is in my brain out of my mouth
Yeah.
is like my biggest problem, I think. Like I'm good. See, I'm the opposite. I'm not really book smart. I went to college, but I'm more people smart than I am book smart.
Right.
Like I can
See?
read people, I can sense things, I can, have small talk all fucking day long.
Mhm.
Like it sucks. I don't like small talk all the time, but like I'm good at it, unfortunately.
You know, the
But
grass
that's
is
because I
always
learned how
greener on
to.
the other side. I see
Yeah,
that being street smart and people smart, and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could be better at that. And then somebody who's like that is like, oh, I wish I could, you know, be better at the whole like reading a book and learning everything, like
yeah, it's
absorbing
hard because
information thing.
it's like I can't get it in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like when I was younger, I was so used to like taking care of myself or having to depend on my friends to like help me out or
Mm-hmm.
just, sleep at random people's houses that it was like, I don't know, you just learn to kind of like, I don't know. It's weird. You become kind of like a recluse. You kind of like depend on yourself and that's it.
Yeah.
And then you don't like trust anybody. So it kind of sucks.
You're independent. But you know, that is very admirable because
Oh, thanks.
there's a lot that comes with that because I was bubbled. So as an adult, I'm still the age that I am and I'm still trying to figure out how to do things for myself and not be scared because things were done for me.
That's what I worry about with Katie because that's kind of how it is for her.
Mhm.
She's very coddled. Like I
Yeah.
coddle the shit out of her, and I don't mean to, but with her seizures and her epilepsy, I'm just always paranoid. So I don't want to stress her out. So I try to
Right. Right.
like just a little bit ago, she's like, "Are you going to bed soon?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing one more round, and then I'm gonna go to bed." So I'm always like trying to cater to her, but I feel bad because it's like, in a way, I kind of like she's not going to be ready for the real world at all. Like the way it's very demanding, and the people are just not always nice or sweet or you know what I'm saying.
Right.
It sucks. So I'm trying to get her a little prepared for that. I'm glad that she has good friends. She has friends on like Discord and stuff
Mhm.
that she talks to all the time.
Nice.
Um, and yeah, they play Roblox games and every single day they talk.
Cool.
So it makes me feel good that she has some people that she can count on other than just me, you know,
Right.
and her sister, and brother. That's always helpful.
Hi,
I'm
Link.
finding myself playing with this little twisty tie thing of Braden's. It's all like one of those little fuzzy, like the pipe cleaners, those
Yes.
little fuzzy thingies.
Yes.
Yeah, I keep wrapping it around my finger, and I made it into like this little ring, so I keep playing with it. Waiting for our match to start. And
Do
then I
you need to
must go
push
to bed
ready?
after that.
It doesn't show that you're
No,
ready.
I'm ready.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
I'm
show
ready.
it for me.
Really? Let's
Yeah.
click it again.
So do you think I need to like exit out and start my game again?
I don't know.
It's giving
That's
me.
weird because hang on, let me see what it says.
It's giving
Yeah,
me.
because you're with me.
Yeah, and mine was check marked ready, but yours is just sitting there. And
Mine says the opposite. Mine says I'm ready, but you're unready. I don't know
no,
what
I
is
just
going on
unclicked
there.
it.
Oh,
There.
okay, now we're both clicked. Have we both clicked on your side?
Yeah. No,
Oh,
yours is not check marked. But
damn
and
it.
see, you know how the little claw marks light up? Mine's
you're
lit
right.
up, but
I'm
yours
looking.
isn't. Okay, so
Yeah, mine. On my end, I see it lit up. That's weird.
yeah, and I can't exit out of the group.
What the hell is going on with this today?
I don't know, but it won't let me exit out now.
Huh. That's weird. Hang on a second. Let me go out and rejoin you. See if that helps. Hang on a minute. Now I'm going to rejoin you. See if we can do that. It says, what does it say? Join request can't be sent. Party doesn't exist.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yours says invite to party, join party, and it's dulled out. And I can only view profile and block. But you know what? My escape button, there it goes. Now it's highlighted. Nope. It won't let me escape out of the game.
Oh no.
I'm stuck in the game.
I was wondering why it was taking us so long. I'm like, that's kind of weird that it's taken that long for a match. Huh. I'd say control alt delete, but don't because you're streaming and I don't want it to fuck up your stuff.
Oh,
Sometimes if I get frustrated, I'll control alt delete, I'll pull from the task manager, and then I'll just click out whatever game in there that I need to get rid of.
Wow. It will not let me exit the game.
That is so weird.
There's no other friends in the game for me to check on that part. The daily rituals pop up. But you know where it says back and escape? It's not lit up, and it will not let me go backwards and get out of the game.
That is freaking weird.
My game is freaking stuck.
It's broken.
Well, hey, Link, how are you doing? I should be able to push escape and get out, but
if not, if you hit control alt delete and go into task manager, you close, but just be careful, don't close anything else out when you do that. Just close out Dead by Daylight. Oh, is it working now?
Yeah, I pushed the stop button on Steam.
Oh, well, that works too. About that. I don't know why I didn't think about that. My brain's not working.
Oh, it was just a guess. I was like, well, maybe this works because I've never done that before. I've never been stuck in that game before.
I'm so used to shit screwing up for me. And plus, I went to school for, like, computers, so I know, like, the minor shit. You know what I mean? Like, software stuff. Not like Petty or, like, Seth is way better at it than I am. But, like, there's certain things that I'm pretty decent at. Sometimes, when I want to be. I usually can figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm stubborn as hell, so I'll just mess with it. And I'll watch up the YouTube videos and shit and be like, how do I do this?
But to me, that's basically the best way to be. And I got, like, put down for that. And I'm like, well, if I don't know, I'll figure it out. I'm not, I don't know. That's just it. I mean, shouldn't people be humble enough to say, I don't know everything? And,
yeah,
I need to learn more, or, I need to ask questions. And because I'm not shy about that, I get treated like there's something wrong with me and I'm stupid for, like, bothering to ask questions and look up stuff.
Are just assholes, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some people just think they know everything and they don't even fucking understand half of it. Neither do we. None of us do.
That's how you learn, though.
To ask questions.
But don't we learn from someone else who learned from someone else? Like, the person that we even, like, if we go to school, we learn from a teacher. Who taught that teacher what they know? A book and a school and a teacher, right? So it's just trickled down. Yeah. So everything that we learn is from someone else. And even if it's the person who wrote the book, right? That's how it all works. So everything that we read from a book, or we learn in a classroom, or we learn because we talk to people in a conversation, it's all from hearing it and reading it and learning it from other people's experiences and point of view. And
Yeah.
everybody is like that. It's just, to me, that's just me. If I want to say I want to, I didn't, but I don't understand Shakespeare very well. And my daughter
Neither do
used to
I.
have
I'm
to
terrible with
translate. I
Shakespeare.
had a 12-year-old that could translate Shakespeare to me. And
Yeah, I don't understand it. Katie's taking it right now, and I'm like, I can't help you with that. I don't fucking understand that shit. It don't even make no goddamn sense.
but you know how you learn it? You read it, you Google it, you ask questions, you talk to people. That's how you'll learn it.
True.
Is absorbing information from it. And we
You
learn
have
it
to
from other
like
people's
want
point
to
of view,
learn
their
it.
style of learning it. I mean, somebody will say, "Oh, this is how I remember." And then you're like, "Oh, well, that's a great way to think about that." And then you take it on.
Try to like, yeah.
Yeah.
I try to picture it in my head like a picture.
Mhm.
Like I'll take a picture, a mental picture of it, and then that's how I tend to try to remember
Right.
things. But like I don't know, like my problem is that I get so like I have to be interested in it or
Mhm.
it just goes in one ear and out the other. Like if I'm
Right.
not interested in it, I don't even pay attention.
Did you
I'm just
eat
like,
all
oh
the
yeah,
noodles?
yeah, yeah. Oh, okay.
No.
Shakespeare. Yep, thou, okay. And then I think I get myself so pissed off
Didn't even open it.
that I don't want to learn, because you have to want to learn it. Like regardless of what it is. Like you're gonna have to want it to
Well,
a point. Or
that's
you're not
true.
gonna do well.
That's very true. To keep yourself interested and learn more, you've got to actually care about what you're learning.
For me, it's like I want to learn more, but it's like certain things
Yeah.
that I want to learn. But
Yeah.
it's like I know that I got to learn the minor things to appreciate the bigger things. And
Yeah.
I just know there's so much that we don't know, and that's just what drives me nuts all the time. I'm constantly thinking.
Well,
Like,
that's
what's out
part
there?
of like homeschooling, is that there's so much that you can teach and learn and be exposed to, and you can't do
True.
everything. And yeah, that's a big thing. You have to learn that, you have to pick and choose.
Yeah, because with public school, they have a curriculum.
Right.
There's only so much time for each thing, and then like I don't know, like I try to tell usually like with Katie, or not Katie, but Savannah, like if there's something specific, she usually comes to me though. She'll be like, "Oh, I really want to learn more about this." Like she's really, really good at art. She loves art.
Yeah.
She can draw amazingly. Like it's insane. She can draw faces. I can't draw like that. I can draw by looking at things,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like animals, trees, stuff like that. I can't draw faces, and she draws amazingly. Her freaking teacher, her emotional support teacher. It was like I think the Day of the Dead or some kind of festival. I don't know. And she was painting those Grateful Dead type faces,
Yeah.
or the Day of the Dead mask things.
Yeah.
And he said that she was doing so well that he had her decorate his whole room in those like things. I
Wow.
thought that was pretty cool because she did it all herself, just with the drawing of, and I'm like, that's
Yeah.
freaking neat.
Nice. Because that is a very, when you have a talent like that, my daughter makes MMD videos. But
That's cool.
what she wanted to do when she was that age was she wanted to be a Disney Imagineer. She wanted to be that person that works on animated movies, that does the
She
details.
still can. She can
Well,
still
she
do
still
that.
can, but she doesn't think she can. But what that like includes
It
is
does
going to
entail a lot,
college.
though.
You're
Yeah,
not
you
going
gotta
to get
go to
hired by
college and
Disney, or by the production people, if you do not have a college education.
oh yeah, and they're gonna want like at least a bachelor's. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? They're not gonna want just an associate. And it's hard going to. I loved college, but I went to a 2.5. I went to like a business school, so it was a little bit different than regular university or something that they would want. Or if you have connections, which it's hard like for stuff like that. Or you got to get lucky sometimes. But with Disney, like you said, they want that paper. They
Yeah.
don't care. They want that, oh, I've been educated at Harvard or wherever the fuck. Like this one girl I watched, she's a VTuber. She Code Miko. And she was the same. She was a technician. She had made animations and virtual reality characters for
Mm-hmm.
movies and all kinds of crazy shit. And now she does her own thing on Twitch, and she like has her own costume where she has like a VTuber person,
Yeah.
but it's literally like looks like a real person. It's really cool looking.
Oh,
And she has
nice.
like this whole suit on so that the whole character does everything she does.
Uh-huh.
Like it's really neat. But she, went to school for a long time. She was working for some animation studio. And then I think she just got sick of it and decided, I'd rather just work for myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what she did. Which I thought was pretty interesting. What is taking forever for a match?
But it says looking for a match, so that's a lot better than it was a while ago.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's just probably because it's so late. It tends to do that. As long as it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. That's always about it. I know my screen kicked me off like, oh my god. Like fucking 5 times. I had to keep restarting my stream. I was like, what the hell is going on? I was getting so bad.
There it goes.
It is what it is.
Yay!
Finally. Oh, we got a Chad. Got a Chad in here. Oh, I love it. She has the pin too. Here's the pin. I'm gonna play this round, Mickey, and then I'm gonna get my butt to bed. I brush my teeth, wash my face, and go to sleep. I'll keep your stream up until you end, so that way at least that's
I only have like by the time we get done with this, I'll only have around an hour left anyway.
Right, exactly. That's not too bad. Then you can relax for the rest of the night and just chill out. You did great. I couldn't do it. Fuck that. I'm too lazy for all that. I mean, I'm not late. I mean, I am lazy, but I'm not. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
I have kids, so I can't really be lazy. But there are certain things I'm like, no. Like, I did pretty good today. I think I did like 4 hours of the stream, which was actually pretty long for me. I usually only do like a couple.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to do longer ones, like, especially if, the kids are busy, not, they're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Basically, anytime Braden needs something, I just kind of put it on mute and go tend to him, do what he needed.
You have to take advantage of that when your kids are, kind of distracted.
Oh, definitely. And Braden's been getting better at distracting himself. Like, pretty much does his own thing lately, except for, like, if he needs help with, like, he wanted his bed made earlier. He, like, messed up his bed and he wanted it fixed. And he likes it a certain way. So he came and got me to fix his bed for him. I thought that was kind of cute. And then, other than that, it's like, hey, I want a drink or I'm hungry or something like that. Something he can't really do on his own. I mean, he could, but he'd make a mess and
Right.
stuff like that.
I completely, well, I commend you. What your kids, taking care of your kids is admirable. Something you do not know about me, I never told you. I don't have a habit of, like, telling people right off the bat. Like, I usually wait until they get to know me really well. I'm disabled. And I got sick. I was pregnant and I had preeclampsia. And it made my organs fail. And I almost died. And because preeclampsia, when you're pregnant, your body attacks itself. And it shuts down. So because your body sees a fetus as a foreign object.
Oh, jeez.
And so Lizzie's lucky to be alive. I was sick with her and I was hospitalized when I was 10 weeks pregnant with her. And but they took care of me. They put me on a high risk pregnancy thing, and they watched me really carefully. And she was born early. She was almost like like a day or two away from being considered an actual preemie because my blood pressure went so high. They said she wouldn't survive until her due date.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah, I've heard of preeclampsia before. Like, I don't know why I've heard of that before. Because I know I had a bunch of issues when I was pregnant. But luckily, everything ended up okay. Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't anything serious, thank God. So that's sad. I mean, I'm glad everything turned out okay for you, too. But sad that you had to go through the pain of, that whole
well,
situation.
yeah, I mean, emotionally, that's something that I still kind of deal with. But when I went in the hospital, it was a hospital. It was basically a death wish, and I went in there and they gave me a medication, and I was allergic to it. And I had an allergic reaction. Well, they
Oh, shit.
yeah, I was taken to the ER because I was almost dead. They said if I was
God.
left 24 more hours, I would have lost enough blood. I would have died. And so I was in the ER. They put me in ICU. They gave me a medication. I was allergic to it. I broke out. They gave me a medication to clear that up. And then I had a seizure. And then they put me on, they overdosed me on seizure medication. Well, one of the side effects to Dilantin is coma. And I went into a coma. Well, before that, that's on top of when I was in the ER, I was supposed to have a platelet transfusion because I had lost so much blood and it was to clot my blood so I would stop like bleeding out. And they didn't do it because when you're preeclamptic, when the fetus is removed out of your body starts healing itself. So a couple of days later, my body was fine. My blood was fine. Everything was fine. They were going to put me on dialysis. And then they said that by some miracle, my body healed itself. And, come Friday, I didn't need to be put on dialysis. And that's what happens with preeclampsia. Well, my stupid ass nurse that needed to go back to school looked at my chart and was like, oh, well, you were supposed to have a platelet transfusion. And, it was never checked off. And I'm going to go take care of that now. So she went and got platelets, gave me platelets, and you know what platelets do? They clog your blood. Mine.
Then they just made you sick all over.
Mine were fine because my blood replenished, so my platelets were fine. So you add platelets to that, and it clogs the oxygen to your brain. And I had a stroke. Man. I was 24 years old and had a stroke.
Jesus Christ! Why did she do that? Did they not mark it properly, or she just?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
The hospital was sued so bad for malpractice that it was shut down.
Oh, I bet. Jesus Christ! Oh, God damn it!
I was like one of, I think, 7 people. I was one out of 2. There was only 2 of us that came out alive in that hospital that summer.
Wow.
In ICU. Out of everybody that was put in ICU, only 2 of us came out alive. Oh, and that's how bad it was. It was a death wish. And
God damn.
Yeah, I spent my 25th birthday in a hospital bed, paralyzed, watching the Oscars.
Aww.
Yeah, I've been through a lot, and I didn't have physical therapy or anything. My insurance was like, to hell with you, and wouldn't pay for anything, and they released me out of the hospital, and I had to go to the home. They ran out of medication. They ran out of Dilantin, which is the reason why I came to. And
ran out of jeez.
I was in a coma because of the medication they had me on. I just saw him hovering over you.
So once they stopped giving you that, that's freaking.
Yeah, my mom and my husband ran out of Dilantin, and my insurance wouldn't pay to refill it, and that's why I came to, was because I was taken off of Dilantin.
My God, that's crazy.
And I didn't have physical therapy or anything because my insurance wouldn't pay for it. So I learned how to walk, talk, eat, everything all over again in baby steps like a newborn baby.
Oh man, yeah, that's rough.
So then, then years later, I took on homeschooling my daughter and my nephew.
Right? Yeah, but everybody heals in their own way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some people need like to be alone, or they get angry and hateful. Some people like it changes their whole life.
I went through a lot because I got really depressed. Like, depression comes along with being ill.
Well, yeah.
So,
you
yes.
do what you need to do if you're stuck in a hospital and shit. Plus, you almost die. But I don't. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't blame you.
But I have PTSD from everything. I mean, from everything. I mean, I was abused when I was younger, when I was a child. Then I was sexually assaulted as a teenager, and then the things that went on in my marriage. I mean, that's a story in itself. And then what I went through in the hospital. I when I was seeing a therapist, she said I had what's called survivor's guilt, where I feel guilty for surviving when they died. And
oh yeah, I see what you're saying though.
Because they told everybody I wasn't supposed to live in it. If I survived, I was going to be a vegetable for the rest of my life.
Oh my goodness.
And there was other people that had families that were there crying their eyes out and questioning, and they died because of their mistakes. And I was sent home to a family that was planning my funeral and were pissed because I ruined their plans.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I had a mother-in-law that wanted me out of the way, and because I survived and I was taken home, I ruined her plans to get my husband and my daughter. And so
that's crazy.
And then I have a brother that's psychotic, that he's schizophrenic, and I ruined his plans because he wanted me out of the way because apparently I'm a threat to him.
Oh, I tried.
Yeah, I saw. Thank you. I have all kinds of crap, and I have PTSD from everything. But losing a child, and going through all of that and surviving, I had nightmares of remembering the things that happened to me in the hospital, and then the things that my own relatives would say about me, and just I questioned God, I questioned life, and I didn't understand why I survived and they died. And
yeah, but you obviously have a purpose here.
Yeah.
Like maybe and it sounds weird, but we all write our own story.
Right.
Was it your time?
Well, you know what it took for me to, and a lot of people don't understand. When you say that, it's not, my relatives were toxic to me, but it was my friends, people that I met and people that I learned to care about and love. My friends are my family. Is how I look at it. They're the ones I choose to have in my life and that I love.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're my brothers and sisters and mom and dad and cousins. I'm very attached to my friends. Well, it was some of the people that I knew, some of my friends, that would say that, if I hadn't met you, I wouldn't know what happened to you, and I wouldn't be more grateful for what I have, or I wouldn't be more aware that it's happening to other people.
Right.
And
yeah, definitely.
So it was like I survived so that I could tell my story, so that someone else that goes through similar doesn't feel alone, and that people are aware it's happening. And I talked to several people, and I was like, what would he do if you got sick? Because that's, what happened to me. I almost died because I was thrown away. I was, I was, that he was told, she's not worth your time. Don't deal with it. And so I was laying in a bed dying. And I'm like,
crazy.
What would your husband or your significant other do if you got sick like that? Would he take care of you? Would he watch out for you when you came home? Would